So, but other than that, Sheikh Dawood was a good man, very good man. And how can I put it, he was, he could be misled too though. Because one time, he almost got sucked in by this guy who was claiming to be a descendant from the Mahdi. This Dr. York fellow. He had a big brown Cadillac and a whole lot of followers. And he had his followers placating. They started to work on Sheikh Dawood. They would come and get him, take him over to his place, wine, not wine, but dine him, dinner and all
this
that.
This is a place over on Herkimer?
Huh?
On Herkimer Avenue. Huh?
No, this was on Bushwick Avenue.
Okay.
On Bushwick Avenue, he had a place. They would take him over there, and they played on him, swell him up, what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to, what they wanted to do was absorb, they wanted to absorb his place into theirs. Because what it ended up, I'll tell you how it ended up. I came into Juma, I started in the doorway, and here's one of Dr. York's boys standing in the doorway. And I looked, I said, what's this? And I forget exactly what he said, because I said, well, he said something to me. And I realized, there he was down there at Sheikh Dawood's, standing in the doorway, taking over, like, The guy said, what are you doing? Who are you? And one word led to another pretty quickly. And I said to him something like, you can't take Sheikh Dawood place over from him like this. You crazy or something? Something to that effect I said, And he said something to me like he Sheikh Dawood is his leader. And he said to me, I'll die for Sheikh Dawood. And I do remember, I said, brother, you're gonna die right now. And I grabbed him by the throat. And everybody pulled me off of him. And then him and his other partners got out of there. You understand?
Yes.
That's how it went down.
In those early days, Sheikh, how many different branches, so to speak, came out from the early Dar movement, and they went on their own, became other masjids and other organizations?
Ooh. I can't say, because we branched out. See, what you miss is the Dollar Day movement wasn't, how can I put it? See, because you say early days, that took time. The Dollar Day movement just wasn't just bam like that. What happened was, I had an apartment, 316 Hopkinson Avenue, top floor. And a lot of musicians used to come to that apartment almost every day. And we used to jam session all the time up there. And it was like where we could come together and, get together, who got a gig or whatever way you can get some work, But, like I told you, when we came together, though, we would always always have a little smoke. We would always have those conversations about politics and religion. And one day it came to a point where I said to the brothers something that I had noticed. And it was that when we were making Juma down at Sheikh Daoud's, a lot of the foreign brothers, some was putting their hands like this, some were putting their hands across the belly, some were standing with their hands at their side, some of them was making other moves and saying other things. They weren't all together and weren't all doing the same thing. And I said, why are they so different? Something, if we're following, there was one religion, one prophet that we're supposed to be following, what's this difference that I see between them? And I said, why don't we try to find out? I said, since the Quran is the instructor, I said, suppose we take a day or evening to read Quran and find out what the Quran wants us to do, and we'll do it that way. So what we started out was, one brother would read like a verse, and if we all agreed with the same understanding of that verse, you would pass the book to your right, and the next brother would read the next verse. But we wouldn't pass or leave a verse until we all agreed on what it meant. So that way, when it was over, we could all be in agreement and know what we was going to do together. And so as we did that, we started, how can I put it? It just seemed to gel us together. It brought us together and molded us like together. And it was, if you want to know who the brothers were, there was a brother, Muhammad Yahya, from Long Island, saxophone player. There was a brother, a young brother, Ishaq Shaheed. He played trumpet, and he was from Detroit. Another brother, Ali Majid Shabazz. He was from New Orleans. He was a drummer. Shaheed and Ali Majid Shabazz stayed in the apartment with me at 316 Hopkinson. And there was Rajab Mahmood. He became the first imam in East New York when we did finally get around to trying to get a masjid. And later he also became my brother-in-law. I married his sister, but he didn't play an instrument. And there was Jamil Ibrahim from Detroit, and his brother-in-law, Rahmatullah Muhammad, he was also from Detroit. And there was Yahya Abdul Kareem. He didn't blow an instrument or anything, but he later became the last imam that we had in the Dar Islam movement. And let's see, did I get them all? Oh, Bilal Abdurrahman. He was from Long Island. We called him Little Bilal. I think that covers the brothers' the main core of brothers that used to come every Monday evening, and we would have dinner and play music and talk, and then we'd sit in a circle and read Quran. And what happened during that time, though, we didn't know what was going on, but we were being watched. Somebody was reporting on us and stuff, you know. Because,
You mean like the government authorities like that were watching?
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Because what happened was this. I went and picked up my wife on Covert Street. We came out of the house, and when we got there, there was a little guy named Booby. They called him Booby. But he was an old school friend of my wife, you know. And I was coming to pick her up to take her to Arabic class. We were studying Arabic. And we got in the car. Booby asked me if I'd give him a lift. I said, yeah, I'll give you a lift, come on. I'm gonna drop him off. We got in the car. When we got to the corner, bang, we were snatched out of the car by 3 detectives. And when we were snatched out of the car, the first question that I was asked was, who's all the bearded guys going in and out of the house? And I said, what do you mean? He said, you know what I mean, all these guys with the beards coming in and out of the house, who are they? So I said, well, we're Muslims, and, you know, and just Muslims. Now that was what I was really mainly first asked about. And they took us on and arrested us, booked us or whatever. And but when I come out in the courtroom, Booby disappeared. There was no car. The cop said I came down the stairs into the house, and they was at the foot of the stairs when I came out of the house. And he said I looked at him, and I took out some mail package and threw it at his feet. And he said to me, what's that? And he said, I said, it's marijuana. So I said, you know, that's not what happened. I had a witness, came to court and testified that he saw us snatched out the car. I told the lawyer that we had, I didn't realize even the lawyer that we got was a setup, because the person who got us bailed out was it was done in a trick bag thing. You understand? One of my wife's uncle, we didn't know he was working with the police and for the police. And he was the one guided, you know, the people that bailed us out to this lawyer who was working still with the city and stuff, you know. And we was in a trap, we didn't even know it. But anyhow, so.
What is it that they were after? What do they want to know from you?
Well, it really was to stop us, because we was progressing. Islam was growing, and I said we were spreading, like we was influencing people, and they didn't want us influencing people like this. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And but we didn't know that they were that upset about it. You know what I mean? And so what happened was, anyhow, So they put me in a trick bag. They said, like I said, they put up these phony charges on it. And so when I proved, I got in the courtroom, and I proved the charges was phony, because I proved that the cops was lying. Because I got them somehow. I remember one of the things I did, when one of the cops got there and told his story, and he lied. And cops have to corroborate one another. So when the next one got up there, I turned and I said, I let him read my lips, and I said, watch him lie and mess everything up. So that made him think he better start telling some truth, So some of the questions that he was asked, the other cop had lied, and he was contradicting him in his answers when he was asked the same question. And the next one said, what Mustafa did, I did not see, So I hollered at the judge, I said, see, I said, I told you they're lying. So he called him, in his counsel, in his judge's chambers. And they offered me a misdemeanor. So look around you. But he said, you take a misdemeanor, or I'm getting the story a little bit mixed, but I'm trying to clear. My wife had been thrown in for a weekend because time had passed. We was out on bail for almost a year, I guess. And she was pregnant. And the judge put the pressure on me by throwing her in jail for the weekend to let me know, told me he meant business. He said, I'll see to it that she had that baby in jail if you don't take a misdemeanor plea. So I had always saw in the subway stations misdemeanor, on the train, 6 months or $500 fine. That's the only misdemeanor I ever knew in New York. So I said, well, I'll just go ahead and get this over with and do that, keep her from having a baby in jail. And, because it was a lot of heavy pressure that way. And she was a delicate woman.